Most men will never know the truth about what really drives women, not because they don't care or don't try hard enough, but because society has lied to them about what women truly want and how we really think. I know this because I am a woman, and I've watched these lies destroy good men's relationships. I've seen us sabotage connections because men didn't understand our psychological triggers. I've watched us chase men who knew exactly how to exploit our deepest weaknesses. And today, I'm going to expose every single one. Not so you can manipulate us, but so you can finally understand us. Because the man who understands female psychology doesn't get controlled by it. He masters it and becomes the man every woman respects, desires, and cannot resist. Validation addiction. Let me start with our most dangerous weakness. We are addicted to validation. And I mean addicted in the clinical sense. We get a dopamine hit every time someone confirms our worth. Every like, every comment, every compliment feeds the addiction. But here's what most men don't understand. The validation we crave most is the validation we can't get. If you give us too much validation, we get bored. If you give us none, we get obsessed. But if you give us just enough to keep us wanting more, that's when we become completely hooked. I remember being with a man who complimented me constantly. You're so beautiful. You're amazing. You're perfect. Within weeks, his words meant nothing to me because validation that comes too easily has no value. But then I met someone who was stingy with his approval. He'd notice when I looked good, but he wouldn't gush. He'd acknowledge my achievements, but he wouldn't worship them. And that scarcity made his validation feel like gold. I found myself working harder to impress him, dressing better when I knew I'd see him, seeking his opinion on everything. And here's what was going through my mind constantly. Why isn't he as impressed with me as other men? What do I need to do differently to get his approval? Did I say something wrong? Why isn't he complimenting me? I need to try harder. I need to be better. Because his approval was rare. It became precious. And I became obsessed with earning it. How to use this weakness. Stop being our cheerleader. Stop telling us we're perfect. Start being selective with your praise. When you do compliment us, make it specific and earned. Examples. Wrong. You're amazing at everything you do. Right. I like how you handled that difficult conversation with your boss today. You stayed calm under pressure. Wrong. You're so beautiful. Right. That color brings out your eyes. Good choice. The difference. Specific validation shows you're actually paying attention to us as individuals, not just saying what you think we want to hear. Warning. If you exploit validation addiction by withholding praise to control us, we'll become clingy and desperate within 2 weeks. Then we'll lose all respect for you and start looking for someone who doesn't play games. Timeline. You have 30 days to establish this pattern. After 30 days, if you're still giving us constant validation, we'll see you as weak. And once we see you as weak, it's almost impossible to change our perception. Advanced technique. Use the 2 validation cycle. Give specific praise for 3 to 4 days. Then pull back slightly for 2 to 3 days. This creates a healthy addiction pattern without manipulation. Emotional uncertainty. Here's a weakness most women won't admit. We are terrified of emotional uncertainty. We need to know where we stand. We need to know how you feel. We need to know what's happening next. And when we don't know, we spiral. The paradox. The more certain you make us feel, the less attracted we become. The more mystery you maintain, the more we think about you. Uncertainty creates obsession. Certainty creates boredom. I've experienced this myself. When a man was completely transparent about his feelings, when he made his intentions crystal clear, when he eliminated all uncertainty, I lost interest. Not because he did anything wrong, but because there was nothing left to figure out. But when a man kept me guessing just a little, when I couldn't quite read him, when I wasn't sure exactly how he felt, that's when I couldn't stop thinking about him. Internal monologue. Does he like me, or is he just being nice? Why didn't he text back immediately like he usually does? What is he thinking right now? Is he seeing someone else? Why can't I figure him out? That constant wondering becomes an obsession. How to use this weakness. Don't be an open book. Keep some thoughts to yourself. Don't always be available. Don't always respond immediately. Let us wonder what you're thinking sometimes. Let us question what you're doing. Warning: if you create chaos and confusion just to keep us off balance, we'll see you as unstable and emotionally manipulative. We'll start planning our exit strategy within 30 days. Success story: my friend Jake used to text back immediately, explain everything, and women got bored. After he became selectively mysterious, he started getting second dates, third dates, and real relationships. He gave us just enough certainty to feel safe, but enough mystery to stay curious. Pro tip: master the 70-30 rule. Be transparent about 70% of your life, mysterious about 30%. This creates intrigue without insecurity. Status sensitivity. Here's a weakness that will make you angry. We judge you by your status, not just your money, your social status, how other people treat you, how you carry yourself, whether you command respect, and we can't help it. It's evolutionary programming. For thousands of years, women who chose high-status men had children who survived. That programming is still in our DNA. We notice everything: how the waiter treats you, how your friends respond to you, how confidently you walk into a room, whether you're a leader or a follower, and we judge accordingly. Disturbing confession. I once slept with a man primarily because other women wanted him. He wasn't the best looking or the richest, but everywhere we went, women stared. I could see them thinking, who is she? How did she get him? And that made me feel like I'd won something. I didn't even like him that much, but I needed to prove I could get him. That's how twisted status works in the female mind. We don't just want a good man, we want a man other women respect. We want to feel chosen by someone who has choices. How to use this weakness. Learn the difference between leading and dominating. Examples. Leading: let's try that new sushi place tonight. I think you'll love it. But if you're not feeling it, we can do something else. Dominating: we're eating sushi tonight. That's final. Leading: when she wants to see friends. I understand you want to see them. How about we reschedule our date for tomorrow and make it even better? Dominating: you're choosing your friends over me again. That's not happening. Warning: if you confuse control with confidence, she will feel suffocated and plan her escape. Transformation story. My friend Mike used to be controlling. He got dumped every 3 months. Then he started making suggestions instead of demands. Now women fight to be with him because they feel safe and respected, not controlled. Timeline: you have 90 days to demonstrate genuine status. If we don't see evidence of your value in the real world within 3 months, we start questioning our choice. Advanced technique: layer status with mystery. Don't tell us about your achievements. Let us discover them. Competition triggers. Here's the darkest female weakness. We are wired to compete with other women for high-value men, and we don't even realize we're doing it. That's why you'll see women flirt harder when other women are around. That's why we post more selfies after a breakup. That's why we chase men who are already taken, because competition triggers the desire to win. And the man who looks like a prize is the one we want most. I remember being in a room with a man I liked. I wasn't going to make a move. But then another woman started flirting with him, laughing at his jokes, touching his arm, tossing her hair. And instantly I felt this surge of energy. Oh, hell no, that's mine. I started engaging more, smiling, touching him. Not because I suddenly liked him more, but because I didn't want her to win. This is how the female brain works. We're not always chasing the man. We're chasing the feeling of being chosen over other women. How to use this weakness. Don't make yourself too available. Be seen with other women, platonically. Post pictures with female friends. Talk about how you value women who respect themselves. Show that you have options, but you're selective. Make us feel like you're a catch, not because you say it, but because we can see other women notice you. Warning: if you try to make us jealous on purpose, we will retaliate. We'll flirt with other men, ignore you, or walk away. Use competition triggers subtly. If it feels forced, it backfires. Advanced technique. Be friendly with women in front of us, but not flirty. That contrast drives us crazy. We see that you're desired, but you're disciplined. That's irresistible. Controversial conclusion. Let me leave you with a truth most people will never say out loud. Women don't fall in love with the nicest guy. We fall in love with the man who makes us feel the most. And sometimes that feeling isn't comfort. It's confusion, desire, insecurity, excitement, awe, and challenge. You've been told to be her therapist, to be her emotional sponge, to always listen, always agree, always be there. And yet, the man she obsesses over, he's the one who triggers emotional highs and lows. He knows how to activate her curiosity, her self-doubt, her imagination, and her admiration. Here's what you need to understand. It's not about being emotionally unavailable. It's about being emotionally unpredictable without being toxic. The man who wins isn't always the most loving, he's the most unforgettable. You want to be the guy who listens? Good. But you also need to be the guy she wants to impress. The guy she can't stop thinking about. The guy whose approval feels earned, not automatic. Most men are too available, too nice, too eager, and that's why she sees you as safe. But not sexy. If you really want to break the cycle of being the good guy who gets left or the loyal guy who gets cheated on, start understanding what actually drives women. Not the lies we tell you, but the instincts we act on when no one is watching. And now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment. Tell me your story. If you've ever been the guy who gave too much, cared too fast, or tried too hard, I want to know. I read every single one and I respond. Not just to connect, but because this conversation needs to be real. Because if more men knew the truth about women, fewer good men would get destroyed by lies they never even saw coming.